It's a good thing they didn't find the picture of you in your bathroom with your gun.
Oh, God.
That's my favorite picture of me on the internet.
Hey guys, welcome back to Retro Killscreen. I'm Paul.
How are you?
Good. Got the radio voice on.
Nice and mellow.
Yeah. With me is John.
What's up?
And we got a special guest for you tonight. We got Kraznor himself with his own Facebook fan page, Nathan Rohr.
Hey, what's going on?
Okay, that's enough of that.
Okay,
I was kind of liking that, the nice sultry sounds of Paul Fleck.
That's right.
I was worried I couldn't even do that properly, so I ripped, apparently.
My throat was starting to hurt a little bit because it was getting all phlegmy and weird from trying to hold back my voice. I don't know how people do it, but I have coffee.
We're going to be doing something very special. We're going to be talking about video games.
Yeah, I'm the Bob Ross of podcasting.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That would be such a cool thing to be, the Bob Ross of podcasting.
We're just going to sprinkle a little bit of sound right here.
Add a little magical audio rainbow.
Yeah. What's at the end of that rainbow? Could be a pot of gold. Could be nothing. Could be Shadows of the Empire on the N64, which we played this week.
Ah, we sure did.
Well, you're playing it because that's your MO. When we record, you're continuing the game.
Okay, so, yeah, not a fan of this game.
I'm going to explain why Nathan's here, because
he
forced himself on. He didn't actually force himself on. We were talking about it a little bit, and it would be the same thing as if, like, you guys on Top Down did a Resident Evil cast. It would be like, well, I have to be there because Resident Evil. That was him with this game, which is a weird choice of game to be really, really into. But
no, this is an important game in my personal evolution as a person. So
right.
I don't know.
And it works out because I don't actually own this game, so you brought it over and we played it.
Yeah.
Almost to completion.
Yeah, we got to the sewers, and then we were just like, wow, this is too dark, and we can't see, and also this level kind of sucks.
And we played Far Cry 3, which we'll talk about tomorrow on the other podcast.
Right, okay.
Oh, right, no, we talked about it on Top Down.
We talked a bit about it, yeah. But more on that story. I don't know. But, okay. None of us have played the PC version, which
no.
I investigated a bit after playing it on N64 again, and, like, it apparently looks way better. So that had me kind of excited.
See, now, yeah, playing this, the entire time I was thinking to myself, man, I really wish I was playing Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is my favorite Star Wars game, or one of my favorite.
Thing with that is, like, I don't like that it just becomes a lightsaber game at some point. Like, I love the first 2 levels of that game, and then it's just
you like when it was still just shooting?
Yeah.
Like, I spent tons of time on, like, the MSN Gaming Zone playing multiplayer Jedi Duels.
Oh, okay.
That stuff was fun.
Whereas, I guess it was mostly because it was a demo in one of those, like, LucasArts Archives packs. I had, like, the first 3 levels of Jedi Knight, so I just played the first 3 levels and thought they were awesome. So I was like, Coruscant, this is so cool. And then eventually, years later, I played that game. I was like, oh, you get a lightsaber and, like, force powers? That sucks. I just want to shoot guys.
Well, then you should have played Dark Forces 1.
I did, and I don't like how old and terrible it looks.
Oh, okay.
Doom, or whatever. Like, I don't know. Whereas this is, like, not great at either of those, really, but for some reason, it landed right in that sweet spot where you're 9 years old, it's 3D, and you just spent a lot of money, so you're going to try your best to like it, and I sure did. So, yeah. $96.
$96 is what you paid for it?
Yeah, I remember
when it came out, yeah.
Like pennies and change and stuff to get there at the Zellers. And then I was really happy with it.
See, this actually marks a special occasion for anybody that follows anything Nathan does, because this is the first instance I can recall in recent memory that Nathan has nostalgia for something.
I know.
Ooh.
And it's actually blinding him to the realities of how bad the game is.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm not gonna, like, as I was playing, I was like, I can't recommend anyone play this because, like, it's obviously kind of bad. but for some reason I have like this super high tolerance for everything it does. So like, John, what are some of your issues with what you're seeing? Because I'm sure I can kind of agree with them and then be like, yeah, but
Fuck that canyon stage.
Oh, but you get to fight Boba Fett.
See? Yeah, but...
And by fight Boba Fett, I mean you stand in between his cannons and then just aim up and shoot it. It's really easy. But, yeah.
See, now...
exploits, yo.
Did you notice that when you play that stage, it takes you over an hour to fucking get to the boss?
It's quite a long stage, yeah. There's jetpack stuff.
And then there's 2 stages to said boss, and once you die, you have to do everything all over again. There's no real checkpoints in this game.
He didn't die.
I was actually... Oh, there's no checkpoints once you've run out of lives, you mean, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm also... Right. Okay, I'll preface this too. I'm playing on medium, so normal, and you guys played on easy, right?
We played on medium.
Oh, we played on medium as well.
We did play on medium?
Yeah.
I thought
the checkpointing, actually, I'm going to say the checkpointing was astounding how good it was for us.
For lives, yes. For when you have lives, yeah, the checkpoints are great, but when you run out of lives, you have to do the entire stage over, which really sucks.
Which, especially on that stage, yeah, I guess would kind of suck. It just didn't happen in our case. I think the level where I ran out of lives was like the speeder bike one, and that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
so.
I got through that with no lives, so I got...
I didn't realize you could do, like, you could throw your shoulder to kind of do a check for a long time. So I was just, like, bumbling around.
See, I just got in the habit of pausing and checking the controls, because it would always tell you what the moves are.
Right. I guess, to that point, I kind of liked that it had a variety of things you do over the course of the game, even if they're kind of shitty. Like, it's just like, you're flying you're taking part in the Hoth battle, and now you're running around on foot, and now you're flying a spaceship through an asteroid field. And it's just like... All right, multiple...
You don't really fly that spaceship, though. You just aim the cannons and it autopilots.
Yeah, it's a turret sequence. There is a flying mission at the end of the game, but, yeah. Like, you're actually flying into Exizor's palace or whatever, blowing it up. But, I don't know if you've seen that part yet. It's the last part of the game.
I believe I actually read a comic in Nintendo Power that gave away, I think, the entire story, so I'm pretty sure I know how this game ends.
Yeah. The story is, like, that's a part of it that's apparently better expressed in the PC version. I was watching some videos of it. There's, like, voice acting. There's little cutscenes that tie together the chapters that we just don't get in this one. Or, like, there's, like, bad motion comic kind of cutscenes.
Yeah, we get the motion comic cutscenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think those are in that version at all. They just have, like, little kind of CG stuff. I was kind of like, I didn't know much of the history of the larger initiative of this game, like the Shadows of the Empire project or whatever. Like, it was a multimedia blitz to kind of create a Star Wars thing without a movie. Like, there was a book this game and some other stuff.
I think there was a comic book too.
A bunch of comics and stuff and toys. They even released toys for this thing and everything. Like, it was like, can we kind of make a Star Wars event without
Star Wars? Yeah.
And I guess partially because of it being a successful experiment, like, that kind of pushed the special editions into go and, like, all that late 90s Star Wars stuff. This was, like, a part of that whole thing, which was kind of cool. But, I mean, yeah, in practice, this game, like, the one thing I will say, like, I was so baffled by the repeating 3D textures. Like, it just looks so bad.
Yeah.
Way that I forgot early 3D could look sometimes. Like, it's just like, oh, this is horrible. Like, this is not because of any artistic or creative reason. This is just this low-res, crappy wall texture.
Yeah.
Does take up a lot of memory, so we're just going to throw that up here.
Especially in the canyon, where it looks like a flat wall.
Looks terrible. Yeah.
It made me sick when you were playing it.
Yeah. There was, like, I ended up playing, like, a level froze on us, the second level, where you're going through the snow base or whatever. Looking at that again too, there's some really bad areas in that as well, with, like, repeating texture stuff. Like, the platforming's really awkward. Like, you're almost just like, I successfully got that challenge point without falling to my death. That's a bit of an achievement right there. Like, just because the controls and camera are so weird.
Yeah.
But the more I play this, the more I realize the PC version, this was meant to be a PC game.
Maybe, yeah. I've never played.
Well, I mean, I realize it handles just like Jedi Knight does.
Mm-hmm.
But you have because you don't have the ability of the keys. You don't have like turning keys and strafing keys. You have to hold like a button down to strafe. You can also play the game entirely first person if you wanted.
Which I did when I was younger. We played it third person one day.
Yeah, no, I've been playing it third person too, and like in the canyon stage, I would go top down in case something came up.
I was pretty impressed. Like, I've been harping a lot in different podcasts and online and stuff about control mechanics and feeling and stuff. And for a game that came out when 96, it controls decently well. Actually, I didn't have a problem picking it up at like when you brought it over, and then I picked it up later on even on emulator here, and it worked totally fine. So
well, you were mostly playing like the Hoth stage, right? Like the first level. And, like, that flying mission does handle pretty good. I mean, the third-person camera for flying around with the tow cable is kind of weird.
Can I be honest? The more I played that stage, the more I just wanted to play Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, I said that, too, while we were playing it.
I don't know what it was, but, like, in 90... When did the first Rogue Squadron come out? Like, 98? 99?
Probably, yeah.
I want to say 99.
Yeah,
it was late.
It was a bit later. I remember, like, I rented that game, and I just was like, I don't know, I just didn't grab me the same way.
At the same time, like, the tow cable camera problem, I remember that also being in Rogue Squadron, but not as bad.
Right.
Yeah. I don't have, like, generally issues with the Rogue Squadron, like, franchise. Like, I played the second and third ones quite a bit, but I don't know. That first one just didn't do it for me. Not to say, like, yo, if you want some amazing Star Wars flying action, check out Shadows of the Empire. Like, it's a dated thing in every way, but yeah. I was also at peak Star Wars exuberance at that point, so just the fact that I was running around with, like, a blaster and the sound effects were right was really great.
Right, yeah.
But, I don't know. Like, they kind of fudge it a bit, like the auto-aiming, so you can run and gun. Like, you're just kind of aiming.
Yeah, that's like the saving grace of this game, because there's just so many points. Fuck, really?
What happened now?
Like that point.
I just died with full health, because I ran into a room with enemies, and only had enough time to kill one.
Yeah. I forget. I think it was when we... Oh, no, it was in the freighter. There's a point where, like, 4 turrets open up.
Yeah.
And I was standing in the center of the room. It was just
well, you get off the elevator and they're there.
Okay, can I just say, like, I hate how they keep putting enemies at the top of elevators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have absolutely no idea which way the door's going to open, because it doesn't follow, like, the common sense of the way you walk in is the way it's going to...
Yeah, it could open on the side or something. They totally sucker punch you with that. Or you'll just walk into a room, it's just like, there were 4 stormtroopers hanging out in here. Why? What? It's a freighter.
Yeah, that is literally what just happened to me. It was a room of the challenge point, which is why I died.
And the challenge point thing's kind of weird. Like, you're just looking for floating collectibles in the corners of levels, or shooting red asteroids, because...
They don't even unlock, like, anything really good. Like,
you get a bonus lives if you get all of them.
That's really the only good thing to them. Like, apparently if you beat the game on hard with all the challenge points, you get the ability to play as an X-Wing or TIE fighter during their final battle.
Oh, okay, weird.
I've never done that. Get on medium, but I know if you beat the game on Jedi, which is expert, all the Wampas will become friendly, so they attack you.
Nice.
Okay, we were definitely kind of trying to use Wampas to kill each other and maybe a couple snowtroopers or something, but it ultimately usually ended up in us just shooting them a bunch, like trapping them behind a box or something.
The Wampas are great.
Yeah. Upon first booting it up, all my old save files were there, and one was named Wampa Stompa, and I want to say that's a cheat.
That is a cheat.
What does it do?
It's debug mode. You can do like a bunch of different things with it. Up to and including invincibility, infinite weapons, playing as a Wampa.
Oh man, we didn't take advantage of any of that.
Right, young me knew, but I didn't.
Young you probably had Nintendo Power.
I don't know when I would have started subscribing. We probably would have been later than that, but maybe I went back.
I remember this game through Nintendo Power, which is why I was excited to play it, because Nintendo Power made this game look really good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was their job. Sell games.
Even in like 90s standards, though, like coming back to this, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Just playing it is just making me either want to play the PC version, which would probably be a lot better, or just play Jedi Knight instead.
Yeah.
You know, like, even with my Jedi Knight stuff, like, it is just a much bigger, better thought-out game. Like, Jedi Knight is probably could hold up in some respect now, whereas this is such a weird relic of 1996, N64, couple months after launch,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, what other highlights are in there.
I think it's kind of amazing to find a game John doesn't like.
I know, I was thinking the same thing. It's like, I can't think of the last game I legitimately played that upset me as much as this game has.
So, like, Superman 64, Sonic 06, totally great.
Well, not totally great, but
Shadows of the Empire, worst game ever.
I don't know, there's just points of this game that just make me want to just go like, fuck, why is this happening?
Yeah. The elevator thing specifically I thought was hilarious, but I wasn't playing those parts when I was watching them, so I was laughing, but yeah, Nathan seemed to be a little annoyed at a few of them.
The seeker weapons not actually seeking on bosses is also kind of irritating.
I was confused about that. Like, I guess I misremembered that game as you could steer the missile. You can't?
I don't know. I believe.
So it's just like, hey, first-person camera on the missile for some reason. It's just like,
wait, you actually had a first-person camera on the missile?
We put it.
You can turn on seeker camera, but it doesn't do. You just see where it's going, like firsthand, which, as far as I know, doesn't help. I seem to remember them seeking though. Like, it was really weird.
No, the seeker missiles will actually seek, but just not on bosses.
Oh, well, that's the only reason I would use them.
Yeah.
Like, I was saving up stuff. Like, can't you accrue ammo over the course of the game?
Yes.
Like, you'll beat a level with, like, 50 Seekers, and then the next level you'll still have it?
Yes.
Yeah. So, like, I was saving my pulse and stuff. Eventually, I ended up wasting a bunch of that stuff.
I just used it a bunch on the boss just then I fought in the... what did you say the stage was again?
The canyons, or which one?
Not the canyon. The ship. Not tanker.
The freighter.
Oh, the freighter, that robot at the end?
Yeah. No, I had the disruptor, and I missed the disruptor because I'm so accurate.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I will say one good thing. At least they increase your minimum lives up in case you lost a bunch. Like, I beat that stage with 0 lives and only got 2 lives for getting 8 out of 10 challenge points. So they're like, yeah, no, we'll put you back up to 4. Don't worry.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a minimum for each difficulty or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, I was maybe a little impressed with the train stage, again, for checkpointing mostly. Like,
that was funny, watching you do that.
Yeah, like, I would jump to the other train, get a life, and then realize, oh crap, and then it drives into an ocean of garbage, but then it would checkpoint, like, right before, and I was like, you know what? Considering this game came out so long ago, I'm impressed this isn't more frustrating. But there's still some, like, terrible platforming and weird momentum issues. Like, if you jump while it's turning, you'll just, like, float away.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Or you'll float forward.
IG-88 was a terrible boss because it was just like, I will run around awkwardly and then just spam him with Seekers when I see him, and then I won. Like, there was no finesse.
You know what? There's actually an easier way to do that. There's an invincibility power-up hidden in that stage.
Oh, there is! That's true. I used to do that. Is it, like, kind of up on those girders in the back?
It's in, like, one of the boilers.
Oh, weird. I fell into a lava boiler, so that went badly.
Yeah, no, that's one of the two.
Or molten metal or something.
There's 2, like, molten metal boilers, and both of them have challenge points, but one also has invincibility.
Okay. There you go. Pro tip for this game that you probably shouldn't play anyway. But, yeah.
I don't know. If you find it for like $5, I still say you could probably pick it up and enjoy some time with it.
It's an alright $5 game, but just you will get frustrated at points.
Yeah, like it is really 3D problems. Like I was kind of a little impressed with like them kind of throwing in those alternate cameras just to be like, look, we haven't figured out how to do this yet, really. So you can kind of mess around and you'll be able to see what you need to see given certain scenarios. Like there was a challenge point on the edge of this cliff. So, like, switch to top-down, and then you can kind of get down there easier. And then you jump up and switch back to third person, and then you can continue.
Just kind of a Band-Aid for the bigger problem that is.
Totally, yeah. It's, like, not dynamic or anything. It's more just like, well, we'll just let the player switch this around and figure it out for themselves. And it'll be awkward, and there'll be weird clipping and all this stuff. But, you know, it'll fix it, kind of. We need to get this thing out there or something. I'm not sure what the motivation is, but...
Like, I remember Shadows of the Empire being pretty well received when it came out.
The only review that sticks out in my mind was like a low 7-ish score from GameSpot. Like it was kind of like, it wasn't raving.
Yeah.
But kind of generally okay, I guess.
And I even remember seeing like one of my friends play this when I was younger, and like he made it seem pretty good. And oddly enough, it was even the same canyon stage too that I got upset at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a bad stage.
Yeah, no,
I like
an hour-long stage.
Yeah, but the jetpack, man, I love that.
The jetpack is pretty great.
The jetpack's neat. Yeah, I got upset when I fell just far enough to kill myself when I had full health, though.
Yeah,
I was just
think
like, oh, damn it.
Part of it's also just like that was a time when I was playing games like pre just internet for everything. So like any secret I found for the most part. So it's just like, oh man, that one time I fell off the like giant thing where you fight Boba Fett, and then I found a challenge point down there.
Yeah,
that was me. I found that, and like, or you go down there and there's like extra ammo and stuff, and then you can come up, and the ship will be kind of disoriented, and then you can go up on the platform and glitch it essentially, where it rises up too close to you, and like I said, you stand between the guns. Easy, take that. Boba.
I've noticed pretty much every boss except for like Boba Fett. I guess even IR, like you could just strafe around and they would just die.
Oh, like
giant loader boss, the AT-ATs, strafe around them. No,
no AT-AT.
Yeah,
oh, wait.
Are the STs the giant ones or the AT-ATs?
No, the ST is the one in the hangar thing. If that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, that is what I'm referring to.
Okay, yeah, that's an ST.
Okay, so
AT-ATs are the big ones you need the tow.
The AT-ATs are the ones that you tow. Okay.
Yeah.
And they don't pit you against one on foot, which would have been sweet.
Yeah.
But, oh well.
Pull down a Star Destroyer.
Mm-hmm. No, like, I mean, Luke took down...
As goofy as that scene was, I kind of like that.
I hated that scene. I hated that part.
I hated the control on it, because it took forever to get through, but the concept was kind of neat.
The concept was cool until you realized that, like, I just pulled something out of space, and then I can't beat this next boss. Or, like, a dude shot me, and I died.
Can't fight this
okay, yeah, with that logic, yeah, I understand.
Like, it's like, if you have enough force juice to do that, you should just be able to crush everything.
Like the thing was, like, yeah, the enemies kept getting weird things. As you would upgrade, they would upgrade too, so they'd have force shields or something, or, like, lightning shields that you can no longer use that anymore. But, like, if you can pull down a Star Destroyer, you could probably just, like, think and rip off every limb of everyone around you. So, I don't know.
You're a Jedi. You don't mass murder everyone. You just mass murder everyone.
Dude, nothing about how I played that game was Jedi-like.
Nothing about that game was literally Jedi-like. It was all Sith.
Yeah, and it was really bad.
I don't know. I didn't mind Force Unleashed 1.
Okay, I think that's
I finished Force Unleashed 1, but I don't know. It definitely didn't sit well with me.
I never played 2. I like the DLC content.
I heard 2 was bad. I heard 2 was bad.
I like the DLC content for 1 more than the actual game because of the weird stuff they did. Yeah, those are really weird. Where you're fighting like Luke for whatever reason.
What if you became Vader instead of Vader?
Yeah. What if you went back to this time and fought these people from the movies? Like, oh, all right.
Star killer.
Yeah.
I was kind of getting into a conversation with a friend of mine in light of like the new movies they're announcing and stuff. Like, I think there's certain distinction between like people who think Jedis are really cool and people who think Han Solo and like bounty hunters are really cool.
Yeah.
And I was definitely in that second camp where it's just like, I don't want to just play samurais in the future or whatever. I want to shoot crap and like fly around and have a space.
That's why I like Jedi Knight, because you could switch back and forth between the two. If you wanted to be a light Jedi, you could. If you wanted to just shoot stuff, you could.
Right. I guess it is really the best of both worlds, but like this game and the upcoming like Star Wars 1313 seem to kind of go more and you're just a dude, you have a ship and like a robot and you shoot crap. And it's just like, yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
As soon as you get into like weird force push and whatever, it's just like, this is fine, but this is also becoming something I don't want to do as much. Like, I haven't played the MMO, but if I would probably be a smuggler. So, I don't know. Yeah. That's probably another reason like why I have more forgiveness for what this game was at least trying to do than I do for some other stuff from the Star Wars, video game
canon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those Super Star Wars games, I don't know how those hold up now.
They're very
fine.
difficult. But
they're hard,
good.
but the platforming's fine. Everything about it
like
plays
as a
okay.
kid though, like it was just like, no, whatever, man, this game's great. And like that first one I used to be really, really good at, but now looking back on it, it's like, yeah, that is really hard, isn't it? This is a weird game. And Empire I've never beaten, and Return of the Jedi I think I've gotten close. But
yeah, Empire I never beat, but I remember Return of the Jedi I got to the final stage, like the part where you're flying out of the Death Star.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it. It seemed way too difficult at the time.
It's a Mode 7 3D right there.
It probably still is way too difficult, just saying.
I just died for no apparent reason. Oh, Jesus.
The canyon, or
no,
or
I'm
Freighter?
in the sewers now. I'm in the sewers now.
All right, that was kind of an issue we were having. Is just the contrast on Paul's TV was like, dude, it's
even on my TV, like this game is dark. Like half the time I can't see what I'm doing.
Yeah, there was a whole section in the canyon level where you just enter into some elevators, and we were just like stumbling around blind for like 2 minutes.
Well, like I was saying, the lighting on the character, like on the actual sprites, or not sprites, but like the models of the stormtroopers or whatever, and your guy are totally fine. It's everything else.
Yeah, you cannot see the edges of things to be like, oh, that's a door. I'm gonna go there. Like it's just like, no, I don't know. It's pure blackness, and then there's Dash Rendar jumping around.
Okay, can I say Dash Rendar is actually a pretty kick-ass name?
I like that name, yeah.
Yeah, it came up. It was like, that's kind of funny. This is pretty good. Lebo is his droid. Prince Xizor or whatever. How do you say that? X-I-Z-O?
I think it's Sizor.
Zizor.
Like the Pokemon you say is Caesar, so I think it would be Sizor.
Yeah, that guy's kind of silly, but he's like green.
Yeah.
He has an evil smile at some point.
That was the best part of that game.
It was pretty funny.
Smile?
I wouldn't mind having like a screen cap of that. Just put that as a...
I'll try to get one for you, for us.
That's like the art for this week, or do you just do the Donkey Kong thing?
What's the Donkey Kong thing?
The retro Killscreen like cover art.
Oh, every episode for every podcast has different like splash art or whatever for when people download on different RSS aggregators. They see that.
Man, right?
What's that?
Isn't that a thing?
What?
Mega Man Exhibit, isn't that a thing?
Yeah, that was our first episode.
Yeah, I remember.
You're one of the 5.
Yeah.
We have 3 of the 5 Canadians in this podcast right now.
That was 3 of the 5 listeners.
Right.
Canadian listeners, or
conveniently, all the listeners are also Canadian, apparently.
Cool.
We gotta find that guy that isn't one of us and Sean. There's one out there. We will find you.
We have to shake his hand.
I don't know if it's directly because of this or not, but I was kind of looking into other Star Wars video games, and I finally saw footage of the Japanese Famicom game.
Yeah.
Where Darth Vader turns into a scorpion.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Yeah, I kind of want to play that now. Like, there's still, like, even though the Super Star Wars games are generally well regarded, the Sandcrawler still makes no sense. There's like an ocean of lava in that thing, and there's like a monster down there. It's just like this giant slime-covered thing that rises out of the lava.
Yeah.
Like, there's video game stuff in that video game that makes no sense whatsoever. It's pretty great.
There's so many Star Wars games. I really wish we had enough time to play the Episode 1 racing or whatever.
Oh, like just
that was fun. I remember that being fun. I'm sure it probably handles like garbage now. But
I don't know, man. That game's real fun.
But when was the last time you played it?
That got a sequel too. It was like Episode 1 Racer Revenge or something like that.
That was like a PS2 kind of remake or reworking or something. Like there's another one that is also a racing game.
The last time I played it was like 6 months ago.
It's decent, fast racing game?
I have a hard time calling anything a fast racing game because I played F-Zero.
Yeah, exactly.
So, no?
But it's like...
It's fine.
Speed in these old games now, or...
Like, the controls and stuff were fine. I don't know. I have been in a mood lately where bad controls have just been really irritating me, so maybe I shouldn't play it until I get out of this funk I've been in or something, but...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it probably does control really, really badly, but I remember it being okay a couple months ago, so maybe I'll throw it in later tonight and try that out.
This is also like the first time I've been revisiting the N64 in a long time, and it's just like, that controller, man, so weird.
I don't like that controller at all.
You get used to it, which is the only thing about it.
Yeah,
But I agree, like the seat, like compared to
It's so
everything
dumb.
else, all the other systems have definitely gotten their thumbsticks better than the N64. It has the distinction of being first and the really weird controller shape.
On a tangent with that, like emulators for the N64, mapping the N64 controller to like an Xbox controller is the worst thing imaginable.
I did it with the original Xbox controller S, and I had no problem.
It's so shitty because like for some games, some of them use only the D-pad, and then the joystick or whatever will be something else in that game, if anything at all, and then the C buttons to do other stuff. So like when you have the dual joystick, you kind of have to have two different profiles depending what game you're playing, where left joystick will either control or do like something else like that, or the D-pad will, because there are games that only use one or the other. Like there's this one Japanese game I'm just trying to remember the name of. It was a shooter, like all Japanese games, I guess.
Yeah, clearly.
Where you're like a robot. Do you know the name of this, John? Or I mean, and Nathan, if you do. But
I was gonna say, you're almost describing Sin and Punishment,
you're a
but
robot.
you're not a robot.
it is kind of like Sin and Punishment, but crappier, because Sin and Punishment games I like quite a bit. I'm just trying to remember the name. I'm actually looking it up right now. It's Bakuretsu Mutakai Bangayo or something.
Bangayo?
Yeah, Bangayo. Yeah.
Bangayo is a Dreamcast game. Like the N64 game didn't even come out over here.
I know.
Wait, is this related to that Bangayo Spirits or whatever I have on DS?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's made by Treasure. The Dreamcast version was the only version we got over here at the time, and then we got the DS one and the XBLA one.
Right, I'm talking about emulation here, though, so I have a ROM of it, and I was playing it, and it's one of those games where, like, I had everything else set to use the D-pad to move, because I had the joystick to move, because a lot of the first-person games, including Shadows of the Empire and stuff like that I was playing, and Pokemon Snap and stuff, I used the left stick. And then so I mapped the D-pad for like whatever options or whatever those games would use onto the right stick on the Xbox controller. Then I go to this game, and all of a sudden it's the D-pad I have to use to move. So now I'm using the right stick and trying to push buttons on the same side at the same time. So like emulation for that is kind of a bitch, but yeah, that was all I had to say really about that. It's a very specific niche problem. But
yeah, especially considering like emulation wasn't a thing at the time, so they couldn't account for it.
Right. But even like with the GameCube, emulation for that on any controller is a dream. It's totally fine. They made that controller good. Just saying that.
Which is weird because it was such an odd shaped controller.
And it's so dumb looking too. When you look at the front, you're like, why are these buttons just kind of thrown on there? And then you hold it, you're like, oh, this feels really good, actually. I like this. But, yeah, I don't know. Star Wars.
Yeah, there's a reason people are upset about it now for the new Smash Brothers not being an option.
Yeah, and you would wear your sticks down with Melee.
Oh, God.
Real quickly.
Or with, there was like a Mario Party minigame where you're rotating it really quickly. That would murder controllers.
For GameCube?
Oh, sorry. I thought we were still talking about
You are, like, for N64, yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah. I don't know if there's, like, pedal the bike really fast on GameCube, but, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've worn out.
I think
GameCube
nothing to
controllers
that
the same way.
extent, but there was still there was a little bit of rotation in one of them, I think.
Sorry, I zoned out for a bit, and then I was like, Smash Brothers, well, there was one of those on N64, so they're probably still talking about N64. But, yeah.
Alright, so Shadows of the Empire, best Star Wars game.
Fuck no.
I don't even think that, but it was, yeah, it was a thing I was really excited about when I was a little kid. So.
See, I was excited about it going into it for this recording, and I'm just never meet your heroes or play games.
Yeah.
What? Okay. Never meet your heroes.
Yeah, it's true. That's why everything changed the day I met Proton John.
Aww.
For the worst.
Yep, that's what I know. That's
Yeah.
why. Aww.
You were trying to diffuse the situation.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you were to recommend a Star Wars game over this, what would you recommend?
Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2 or Jedi Knight 2. Oh shit, what was the subtitle on that one?
Oh, I think I have it installed right now. Just a second.
Yeah. What was it was Jedi Knight 2, Dark Forces 3.
2. Star Wars Jedi Knight, Dark Forces 2.
No, the sequel. It was like Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, or Dark Forces 3 or something like that, and I think it had some other subtitle.
I don't know. There's Jedi
And
Knight.
then the Jedi Knight 3
Jedi
was Jedi
Outcast.
Academy.
Sorry, yeah, Star Wars
Jedi
Jedi
Outcast.
2, Jedi Outcast.
Okay, that's what
Like
it was.
Lando's in that and everything. Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I heard those seem all right. Episode 1 Racer as well, the Super Star Wars games if you want something 2D.
Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron definitely. Be prepared for frustration for that one too.
Soul Calibur. Playthrough as Darth Vader.
Oh,
Yeah,
Soul Calibur 4.
Or Yoda. Yeah, 4.
Masters of Terraskasi. I'm just joking.
I played that game a lot.
I've never played it.
Terrakasai, really?
Yeah.
Isn't it really unbalanced, or what's the thing with that? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's a you can just destroy people with like specific characters.
Yeah. Have any of you like I didn't actually ever play it, but it was like I would always get excited about Star Wars launch games apparently because I was like, well, this game's coming out, so I got to buy an Xbox, and I didn't end up doing that for many years. But like Jedi Apprentice or whatever, where you're playing as Obi-Wan, it was like a launch game for Xbox.
Oh God, I remember that.
I don't know this at all.
I had the option of at a friend's place of playing that or Jet Set Radio Future. I promptly chose Jet Set Radio Future.
Okay.
And I feel like I made the better choice.
Probably. I've never seen it, so I don't really know if it ended up good at all, but I was just like, oh, there's a Star Wars game on next gen systems. I'm gonna get that.
I heard it was kind of
Okay.
Didn't they release Jet Set Radio Future on the Xbox recently?
No, that's Jet Set Radio.
Oh, it's just Jet Set Radio?
Yeah, Future currently is only playable on the original Xbox, and I guess if you have the backwards compatibility update.
Oh, yeah,
60.
I guess. Yeah. That game didn't hold up very well for me.
Future or Radio?
Radio.
Yeah, no, I did Future first, then went back to Radio, and I was kind of on it. But like Future, I loved just because it had a better sense of speed than Radio did.
Yeah.
Radio had better graffiti to it in general. Like the way you did graffiti was a lot better, I thought, in the original.
Yeah.
But I just like the sense of speed you got in Future.
Yeah, maybe that's the problem because you don't have that sense of speed in Radio.
Yeah, because in Future you can just hit like a button to like slow down your speed and just tap the graffiti button. You'll auto tag walls.
Right.
And so you can do it while you're on grind rails and everything.
Yeah, so you like the going in front of it and holding the button and just watching them dance around as they're spray painting.
Well, I mean, like you had to like twist the stick along with it too, so there's a bit of skill to it for your score.
Yeah.
I like that, but at the same time, I like Future's sense of speed better.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Sorry, I'm just thinking back to bad Star Wars games, and I'm remembering I purchased like a bunch just blindly because Star Wars. The
Did you ever
Phantom
play that
Menace game.
Super Bombad Racing?
No. How's that?
It's like chibi Star Wars racing.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds okay, but
PS2, I believe.
Yeah, it sounds feasible.
I have that Angry Birds Star Wars.
Oh, I know. I was so just like I don't know.
You can use the Force in it.
The popularity of that whole thing just confuses me because it's just like there's better dumb iPhone games too. I don't. What
Angry
happened?
Birds Space is pretty good.
Is it?
Gravity
like Penny
pull
Arcade
changes
comic?
everything.
Okay. There's a Penny Arcade where it misses and then just flies into the sun, and I thought it was really funny.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So maybe I'm being a little harsh on it. I just didn't like. It's like physics puzzle. I don't know. You knock over the stuff.
Oh yeah, because Shadows of the Empire is the best game ever.
Yeah, clearly. Like spend your $1 there. If you find it for $1.
Well, yeah. If you find like any game for $1, you should probably just buy it.
Yeah, maybe.
Like in a store.
Unless it's a sports game, maybe you'll get in trouble that way.
Yeah, most sports games are usually $1 now. At least.
Yeah, those
Madden 01.
Sports games don't count as games. They're just they're a thing that
they're
a thing people buy for some reason the day they come out and then never play them after that week.
Like just briefly, like I did respect the way, like I guess it would have been Sega or whatever. Like whoever was releasing the $20 new games for that brief period before EA bought up everything. Yeah, that was the right way to handle it. Like it's just like,
agreed.
Here's a new one. It's basically the same as last year's. It's only $20 though. You're just like, oh, all right, I'll get my my current lineup of dudes, and it's only $20. And
It'd be the same if they built one game that would sustain them for like 10 years, and then released a $10 DLC pack every time rosters changed or something.
Right, and it's like that would be a much more responsible. Like, I don't know.
But that's how they're making their money.
I know.
So
like they know they have their captured audience or whatever, so it's fine.
NFL Blitz, however, great games.
The Blitz games, yeah.
I never played the EA version of Blitz. How was it?
Which one's the EA version?
The XBLA one.
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, that was EA?
Yeah, the EA owns NBA Jam and Blitz.
Wait, wasn't that a PlayStation Plus title? I think I have access to it. I don't know.
Maybe.
I know NBA Jam was, but I thought NFL Blitz, the new one, was too. I don't know. I'll have to go through that. I just want to say the surprise, the Phantom Menace game was really bad. So, just stay away from that one.
I actually remember playing that one at a friend's place.
Really awkward third-person platforming. It's really terrible. I don't get Lego Star Wars either, but I guess that was kind of a big thing. But I just didn't find
Lego Star Wars is all right.
I like the Lego games. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
They are grind heavy if you're going for 100%. That's the only real downside to the Lego games.
I guess if I had to highlight a Star Wars game, I mean, we already said the Jedi Knight is pretty good.
You didn't highlight one yourself.
Yeah, so I'll probably be all even more nostalgic and just say, "Yo, Super Star Wars, it's really good." But
it is actually pretty good. I do like that game. It is fucking hard though.
And in true video game fashion, you're fighting 80 million things that you wouldn't fight. You're just go to the cantina and murder everybody. Why? I don't know. It's a video game. You gotta fight stuff. You're just oh, okay.
I guess I'm gonna say Knights of the Old Republic, mainly because BioWare.
Oh yeah, jeez, I didn't even think of Knights of the Old Republic.
If you count those, I guess. Which
I'm kind of now, but I don't know. I just haven't played them in a while. I'm wondering how those hold up too.
I like BioWare RPGs, so that's
okay.
Yeah, I think BioWare RPGs probably hold up pretty decently. So
yeah,
I mean, they'll still be writing there and stuff that you can appreciate.
I guess RPG singular because technically the Knights of the Old Republic 2 was Obsidian.
Yeah, which I recently acquired. I've never played it. I've heard it ends terribly, but it has cool stuff in it.
Apparently, a ton of content was cut from the actual commercial release. So
yeah,
if you have to look online to see all the proper stuff they were trying to put in the game. It's kind of interesting read.
Weird. All right. Well, I think that does it for this episode. Unless somebody has any closing thoughts, I guess, on Star Wars or Shadows of the Empire.
I hope 1313 is good, but also it's just Uncharted. So
we'll save that for a podcast that's not called Retro Killscreen.
Right. So future Killscreen. So yeah.
What are you talking about? It's clearly coming out in the year 1313. That's pretty retro.
Right. Or there you go.
Yeah.
Or decades from now, we'll do one about going back to that rusty old PlayStation 4.
I guess it is a long, long time ago. A galaxy far away.
There you
go. Okay.
And so on.
All right. So we're done with that. Next week we will be talking. I pulled it up here, but I don't Okay, so I'm not cutting this, I guess. But Space Channel 5 or Killer 7 or both.
Space Channel 5 is at least short enough to talk about.
Yeah. But it's also short enough to not fill more than 5 minutes.
True.
There's two of them, though, and Michael Jackson is there. So
in both of them.
So Michael Jackson accounts for 30 minutes of talk.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going
to be fair, you could probably talk about Michael Jackson for a very long time.
Yeah. So I'm not going to be there. I don't want to crowd your guys' thing. I'll listen from the sidelines and enjoy.
He's just going to send in viewer mail and stuff.
I'll probably ask questions about it because I do own that game.
I kind of don't want to do Killer 7.
Okay.
We're doing Killer 7.
We're doing Killer 7?
We're doing Killer 7.
We are. You're confirming this right now.
I'm confirming that next week, after hearing this, we will be talking about Killer 7. So go ahead and play your copy, find out how bad the controls are, probably shut it off after raging, but not being able to do anything. Send in your questions.
For those of you who don't know the system, it is PS2 and GameCube. So that's the farthest up we're going up the retro ladder, or the system ladder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Send your Suda questions in general, or no?
Sure.
Okay.
Want to know what crack Suda 51's on? Ask us. We will clearly know.
We know about all the cracks.
Every single one.
Yeah, gross. That has bad connotations. Nathan, thank you for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And you can hear Nathan every week on the Pixel Response podcast out on Thursdays or Top Down Perspective on Fridays.
I can?
Also, Kraznor on Twitter. I mean, fuck, if you're listening to this, you know. Bye! We literally say that you're hijacking the next podcast.
Oh no. Hope your listeners don't just leave. Just like, oh, this guy, I was listening to this one because he wasn't on it. Lame.
Did you see that you have a fan page, by the way?
I did. I thought it was funny.
Did you like it?
I didn't, because I thought that would be weird, but
No,
I
you have to
post that it was there.
I liked it and attached it to the Top 10 Perspective page.
Awesome.
I love the random photo they chose for it.
That's so good.
I think it was just I tweeted that, but anyway.
It's an old photo, too.
Mm-hmm. Not that old. That was when I was messing around with my jean jacket like a couple months ago.